Oh, it's a little crooked, I think. Let's see if we can fix that. Let's remake that a little bit. Yes, hello. When you watch this, it'll be Monday. But for me, it is Saturday. It's been a long week. I stayed home yesterday with food poisoning. I went to work today, and it is the Saturday before my last Saturday of working, and I can't tell you how happy I am. I can also say that I am here with a book review because I finished Black Fatigue. And it's fitting because I have a story to go along with it. But yes, for everybody, it is Monday. Happy Monday. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Michaela. I go by Black Librarian on all platforms. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about being a librarian in the Bay Area, talk about book reviews. I talk about life here and there, and I give you a bomb song of the week. So, like I said, if you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. Let's get into this. Shh, we're in a library. Like I said last week, and I was so serious. I don't think y'all understood. I was going to finish Black Fatigue. Black Fatigue is finished. And it's the first nonfiction I've read this year. And I plan on reading a nonfiction a month because I really want to be intentional about learning things and just reading different perspectives about history and just Black excellence in all of its forms, why Black people go through what we go through, and then just like history in context, right? Because they're trying to get rid of it at all costs. And Mary Frances Winters does a good job in Black Fatigue of not only telling her story of how she knew she was Black from a young age and situations that she's gone through where she's experienced fatigue from I think she was 5 years old when she had her first issue with racism, and then growing up and having children and them experiencing racism and just the world and how she was viewed by the world and how her children are viewed by the world. And then it goes into the context of Black people in general. Now, if you're a Black person and you're tired, which I'm sure you are, especially in these times, which are so trying, if you are tired of telling people about your experience and explaining yourself over and over and trying to be seen and heard that your hair, your health, your life, your children, and your history matters, give them this book because it is not on you to keep explaining these things anymore. That is why we are exhausted. We're exhausted because things that are happening now, especially with everything that's going on with ICE and how they're kidnapping people and separating families, this is not the first time this has happened in history. And I think that we all need to get into some nonfiction and start reading because they're trying to tear it away like these are all separate issues, when in reality, it's the same issue that's been happening to Black people over and over and time and time and time and time again. And it seems like no one is listening until now. Surprisingly, not so surprisingly. But when it comes to Black Fatigue, it's just that, us being exhausted because Black people tried to tell everyone, this has been happening. They've been killing us. They've been kidnapping us. They've been doing all of these things. They've been hanging Black men in parks and saying that they're committing suicide. They're killing Black women in hospitals and saying, oh, we didn't know that they were hurting. We didn't know they could experience pain. And this is historical. And it's as though we're making it up or, oh, it's not always about race. We shouldn't even be talking about this and all those things. And now that it's at this breaking point, it's like, oh, so it is racist and it is racism and all those things were true all along. So the book focuses on that as well, just being gaslighted into believing that, oh, no, all these things aren't systemic. They are. The system is against Black people, and we are constantly trying to prove ourselves and having to prove ourselves and working twice as hard and things like that. And it is exhausting. And when I say I cried during this book, like reading it, and I get emotional because it affirms everything that you know as a Black person, but it also hurts so much because it's it's impossible to know what it's like to be a Black person without stepping into the shoes and living this life. And especially with Black culture being so glamorized and people wanting the experience and being cool with the fashion, the music, and things like that, but not wanting the other side of the experience where it's a lot of heartache, it's a lot of pain. But with all things considered and all of the fatigue that I've experienced, and just as a people, I wouldn't want to be anything but Black. And that's so real. I would be Black in every single lifetime because I know that my people have overcome time and time again. And right now we are resting because we we can't save everybody. And I think that that's a hard reality um to put forth, but I think it's one that this book kind of jumps on because no one was listening. Now everybody wants to listen and have these conversations. And not to say it's too late, but it's just like, yeah. If you're interested in reading Black Fatigue and learning more about what's going on through history, it talks about affirmative action, it talks about being in the workplace, it talks about college, it talks about white privilege, and it gives a long, long list of definitions. It has a really long index with many references to give you everything that you would need to educate yourself on the experience. And hopefully, it will help people to have some more understanding. But like I said, it's just great to have the book itself because we needed it. And I'm thankful for Mary Frances Winters for taking the time because I know that it was a struggle to write and to think about like what we do on a day to day. And I know I'm missing things, but again, like I said, this was heavy. But I feel like nonfiction is heavy sometimes. And with it being the first of the year, I wouldn't have wanted to read another, but I'm excited for the next one. I don't know what that will be. We will decide in February. And I guess, well, no, I know it will be an important read because, of course, it is Black History Month. So I'll be really intentional on my nonfiction pick for next month. But yes, go ahead and pick up Black Fatigue and take your time with it. But pick it up because I think that it covers a lot of what needs to be known and learned. Now, on a lighter note, I am now reading Love Spells Trouble. As you know, every year as a teen librarian in my system, I have to read 10 young adult books that have gone from last year, July 2025, and the publication dates of July 2025 to June 2026. This is my number 6, Love Spells Trouble by Nia Davenport. Now, I'm in a few chapters so far, and it's so cutesy. A young witch named Kaden, who is born from a mother who's a witch, who is also has a father who's a human. So they're outcasts basically because that's frowned upon. So they're not really accepted amongst the witches in their area, but they still live. Her mom's a vet, and her dad has a cupcake shop, and she's living this good life. And in walks Kai, this young man who adopts this dog from her mother's veterinary clinic / shelter. And oh my gosh, it's so cutesy because there's initial attraction and they go on this date and it's all fun and lighthearted. But she finds out that his parents, he's a witch as well, and his parents are like the top witches in the area. So that's as far as I've gotten so far. Like I said, it is very cute. It is very YA. Like I forget sometimes because I think that they're writing YA for like adults in a way, because I'm like, I don't know. I remember YA being cute and not so like, I guess, cute and lighthearted. I guess more YA is hitting on themes that are teachable, but sometimes I think teens need lighthearted palate cleansers, and this is that. So far, so good. I will have a review on this next week. I don't know what it is about the witches that I've been reading so much of lately. I'm very interested to find out what that's about. Magic and all those things. But yes, Love Spells Trouble will be next week. Updates. I had food poisoning. Sweet Green, count your days. I don't know what's going on, but y'all had me messed up. Who would think that a salad would have me so messed up in here? Had to call out from work. But it also like made me think about just like self-care, and like I woke up and I was trying to go to work and my mom was like, "You're gonna really go to work and you've been throwing up all night?" And I was like, let me take care of me. So I stayed home, got rest, and went to work. And today I also have, hold on, we had a resin program. So I made these, and they're hairpins, and I'm so excited about them because the last time they came to my branch, I wasn't able to make them. So I made some for me, and I also made some for my coworker who's actually about to leave. So I'm gonna give her these. So she'll have some, I'll have some. But yes, as far as the library goes, very, very chill week, very, very calm. I have a lot of teen volunteers coming in. I'm so excited about it because as a teen librarian, I'm also a teen volunteer coordinator. So I am, the one that does the interviewing processes and brings them in. And it's exciting because I have so many new additions to the team. And I'm excited because this year is the year of the program for me, where if you are a teen volunteer, you're going to be having a program. And next month, we already have our first from our teen volunteer. She's going to make paper bouquets for Valentine's Day. So I'm really excited about that. And then in March, we're also going to have a teen volunteer who's going to have a karaoke night. So it's very, it's very good, very, very good timing. And I'm getting really excited as we level up in the years. And I'm about to hit 3 years at my job next month. And that's so crazy to me. No, wait, 2 years going on 3, but regardless, come on. We can clap it up for that. Now, before we go, of course, we got to get into the song of the week. And I just got into this artist, Rachel Chinariri. And I love her. She's so girly. And her little song, All I Ever Ask. All I know is that she writes, that pen is immaculate. And when she goes on tour, I will be there. I will definitely be there. But if you haven't heard any of her music, I would say check it out. It's very good, very lighthearted. And not only lighthearted, we don't have like the pop girlies are back in full swing, talking about love, talking about fun, talking about being girls where it's not just ass and titties. So yeah, check her out. That's all I have this week, y'all. It's like I said, it's been a good week. I hope that this Monday was great for you. And I hope that this week you find your happiness, that everyone is well, because the flu is going around. And ultimately, I hope everyone is safe. Protect your peace. Peace to y'all. And I'll see you next week.